Good afternoon and welcome to BizTech Asian Midday Market Watch. I'm your host, Samantha Voon, and my co-host today, Brian Fernandez. It's Tuesday, the 19th of March, and our guest today is Tina Teng, an independent market analyst based in Auckland, New Zealand. Tina, good afternoon. Thanks for being on the show.
Hi, Samantha. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah. So before we start, let's just look at the performance of regional stock markets today. Right. We have the Singapore STI index up 0.04% and the KLCI down 0.23%. The Shanghai Composite down 0.32%, and the Australian ASX up 0.46%, and the Nikkei 225 in Japan up 0.35%, and the Hong Kong Hang Seng down 1.24%, and the South Korean Kospi down 1.07%.
Now, Tina, what's your view on market performance in the first half of the day today, especially given the seismic shift in the Bank of Japan's policy, where they've hiked rates for the first time in 17 years, abolishing yield curve control?
So Asian markets today are painting a mixed picture. The Bank of Japan's move on the interest rate actually was widely expected. That's why we didn't see any shocking movements in the markets. So Japanese stock market still slightly rose, and Japanese yuan actually weakened against the US dollar. But usually, the Japanese yen should weaken, should strengthen if the Bank of Japan ended its negative rate in 17 years. However, we saw this reverse movement. I think just because markets have pressed in this move ahead, and now the markets actually are moving reversely.
Now, on the flip side of the equation, we have the Reserve Bank of Australia just a few minutes ago. They've kept rates unchanged. What's your take on this? And is there rate cuts on the horizon for the RBA?
The Reserve Bank of Australia kept the interest rate on hold for the third straight time. I think market reaction was just seeing it as a dovish move, and also the inflation actually in a retreat in Australia. So this move might be meaning that the bank won't raise interest rate again this year, and the next move will be a cut. The time will depend on the upcoming economic data, especially its CPI data. So I think markets right now are optimistic about this inflation trajectory.
Mm-hmm. So we've got the Fed meeting tomorrow, which markets are now anxiously waiting for. What are the expected outcomes from that, Tina?
So right now, this the notable trend is that the oil price are on the climb again, which could actually lift the inflation expectations. That's why we see the recent move in the markets is a reclimb in the bond yields and the strength in the US dollar. I think markets are pricing a hawkish stance by the US Fed. And the stock markets, Wall Street actually I think is still on its correction phase. So it's I don't think the Fed will just say we'll cut interest rate in June or a specific time. So I think it would tend to be more hawkish than expected.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so thanks for speaking to us, Tina. It's always nice to have you on the show. I'm Samantha Voon.
And I'm Brian Fernandez.
And we've been speaking to Tina Teng, independent market analyst on BizTech Asian Midday Market Watch. This video and podcast will be on our website, www.biztechasia, and our social media platforms, as well as our syndication partners' TV and radio stations and websites. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thank you for tuning in.